It's actually happening. We've made our way to Burlington, Vermont. Welcome, wrestling fans, to the Pinery as Green Mountain Wrestling makes its debut in Burlington, Vermont as we present to you South End Slamdown. My name is Peter DeLonge. Thanks so much for joining us. It is my pleasure to be your guide on this wrestling adventure. If you haven't already, hit like and click subscribe. Coming out of the ring right now to start us off tonight, a man who needs no nicknames, Brody Jackson. Last time we saw him in Barre, Vermont, he was tearing the house down with Ryan Mooney and now looks to ride his wave of momentum and start a win streak here at Green Mountain Wrestling. However, the man who will be standing across from him will not be giving him an easy night. Coming to us from Philadelphia, the Catchpoint School of Wrestling, Rullo debuts here in Green Mountain Wrestling. Trained under the watchful eyes of Drew Gulak, Nate Wallace, Tracy Williams, and Wheeler Yuta. Yeah, you probably know a couple of those names. Rullo, the 22-year-old, is well into his second year of professional wrestling. Did he just throw that kid's hat? You show up at a new promotion, you'd think you at least want to have some respect for the crowd. You know, maybe get the crowd behind you. Not making any friends here today, Rullo is. Now, Brody Jackson, we're smart. I don't know, maybe Brody Jackson doesn't have the experience that I have. I worked in Hot Topic in the late 90s, early 2000s. I've dealt with sad boys and spooky kids. All right, when I was a young boy, my father took me to the city to see a marching band. But maybe Brody Jackson doesn't have that experience, so perhaps he won't have such an easy time.
Our opening contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, in the corner to my left, hailing from Newark, Delaware, and weighing in at 160 pounds, this is Rullo! And his opponent from St. Johnsbury, Vermont, weighing in at 165 pounds, no nickname needed, Brody Jackson! Your referee for this opening contest is Adam Brunton!
Adam Brunton officiating this opening contest. Shout out to Big Tone Tony Morris for his smooth vocal stylings. The opening announcements here to this matchup. Always good to hear him on the microphone. I spoke to a lot of fans here tonight. This is not only their first time seeing Green Mountain Wrestling, but some of these people, their very first time seeing professional wrestling live, which is so cool to be able to let them experience it along with us in Green Mountain Wrestling. So cool to bring that to them. Brody Jackson now locking up with Rullo. Both men fighting for an advantageous position. Rullo fighting Brody Jackson into the corner. Rullo goading him into the middle of the ring and then running for cover here.
This guy's problem, huh?
Listen, you learn the craft at Catchpoint. You're not afraid of anybody. I'll give him that, all right? There's no way he's doing that out of fear. This man is trying to get into the head of Brody Jackson. Nice headlock takeover by the newcomer now. Cinching it in, Brody Jackson trying to figure out a way to get back to a standing base.
Get up!
Both men up on their feet, off the ropes now. Shoulder block takes Brody Jackson down. Rullo off the ropes. Tripping attempt unsuccessful. Leapfrog trips up Brody Jackson. Rullo tries to take advantage, but Jackson finds a way. Nice drop kick into a headlock takeover now.
Give up!
Jackson in control.
I didn't even say it.
Rullo now the one trying to get his way back up to his feet. Successful. Up against the ropes, forcing the breaking of the hold now. And a cheap shot. While referee Adam Brunton trying to break up the menagerie up against the ropes. Seems like Rullo knows exactly what he's doing in there.
Get out of the corner. One.
Head first into that top turnbuckle now. Lighten Brody Jackson up in the corner.
Get out of the rope. Oh, Brody.
Shoving right across the chest. Nasty stuff. Rullo, of course, we've seen him typically in a tag team situation with his tag team partner Julesy, together called Dolphin Funeral. A formidable tag team specialist. Now showing us what he has in singles competition, but Brody Jackson doing the same, showing off his ability in the ring. Very nice reversal. And now the Green Mountain Wrestling mainstay in control, but Rullo smartly getting out of the ring. Saw what was coming, clearly has done his homework, knows that Brody Jackson is talented up on that top turnbuckle and wanted none of it. And he comes up the top anyway, hits him on the outside. Rullo thought he was safe. Not so.
That's all right.
Jackson worrying more about his wardrobe and his laundry detail later on than he was the match. Proving to be perhaps a fatal mistake here as Rullo takes advantage and is now back in control. 2 count only, shoulder comes up. I mentioned it early, we saw Brody Jackson go head-to-head with Rabbit Ryan Mooney at our last event. You can go back on our YouTube page and witness that for free. But what we saw there was that although Brody Jackson came up short, he was able to hang with one of the best independent wrestlers on the scene right now. So Rullo definitely has a task in front of him. Jackson fighting off, going for the midsection, but Rullo cutting Jackson off in a vicious scoop slam. Goes for the cover now. You can see the training coming through. Guys like Drew Gulak, Tracy Williams, I mean, they definitely have a more brutal, vicious style, and Rullo certainly showing where his tutelage comes from there. Comes into the corner but catches a back elbow to the jaw by Jackson. Jackson with a boot now. Goes for the sunset flip. Does not capture that second arm. Was unable to keep the second shoulder on the ground. But takes Jackson down, does Rullo. Nasty cold clothesline. Comes over quick for the pin. 2 count only. Jackson still able to get the shoulder up.
That's why they give him 3.
Jackson definitely not wanting to lose this opening matchup here at his home turf, but Rullo, I would imagine, wants nothing more than to start off his tenure here in Green Mountain Wrestling with a big win against a crowd favorite and a staple in the Green Mountains. Goes for the cover now. You don't want to come all the way up from Philly and go back with your head hanging low from a loss. But that's how the game goes sometimes, as Rullo now buries the knee in between the shoulder blades, pulls up on the chin, trying to squeeze the life, drain the breath out of the lungs of Brody Jackson now. Jackson tries to make his way back up to his feet, but Rullo pulls him back down into the seated position, where Rullo is enjoying the most amount of control here. But Jackson finally getting up to his feet. Shots in the midsection. Rullo relinquishes the hold. Comes in with a headbutt and knocks Jackson down. A desperation move, wanting to desperately to stay in control, and gets just that. Rullo willing to put it all on the line. And a vicious slap across the face. Disrespectful. Off the ropes now. Jackson coming in. Ducks that clothesline and the back elbow. Clothesline takes Rullo down. Just the opportunity that Brody Jackson needs. Opposite corners now. Jackson taking a moment to recuperate. Shouldn't take too long. Splash in the corner. Keeps him there. Off the ropes. Back elbow. Coming in with a vicious forearm to the jaw. Rullo being barely able to stay on his 2 feet. Big bulldog out of the corner. Jackson goes for the cover. No, 2 count only. Jackson has a lot of ground to make up. Rullo was in control for quite a bit of this matchup. We saw him go up top earlier, but Rullo was able to get out of the way. Will this be a different outcome? No, Rullo once again scouts it. Trips him up, crosses him on that top turnbuckle. Not a comfortable place for anybody to be. Rullo meets him up on the second rope. Oh, digging his nails into the back.
How is that helping you in the back?
Hooks the arm, going for the suplex off the second rope. But Jackson leaning back, lowering his center of gravity away from Rullo, making it difficult to keep that grasp. Back down on his feet. Power palm position. Sits out with it. With the cover. No. Rullo. Shoulder up. Match continues. Well, this is the best position that Jackson has been in thus far. He needs to stay on him. Needs to keep the punishment going. Can't let Rullo breathe a bit. Jackson coming back, but Rullo grabbing it. Is he biting him? What's he doing?
You're not very nice.
Pulls him outside through the ropes, and now both men battling it out on the apron. Nasty overhand chop from Rullo.
You look angry.
Jackson blocks the shot, sends one back to him, does it again.
Inappropriate.
Oh! Step up Enziguri. Hits the mark. But Jackson comes back with a surprise knee strike. Rullo didn't see it coming. Back into the ring now. Rullo on spaghetti legs. Oh, catches that knee strike. Goes for the leg. But Jackson tries to kick him off. Rullo will not relent. Finally releases the foot. Ducks the shot, but comes back with a flurry. Enziguri's hit I think that was the side of the face. Jackson was trying to dunk it, but turned right into it. Caught that boot right on the side of the face. Falcon arrow right in the middle of the ring. Goes for the cover now. Rullo, no. 2 count only. Jackson somehow survives that onslaught.
He's done!
Rullo claims it's over. Oh, wait! Quick roll up! No! 2 count only. Oh! Kick before Rullo could stand up. Off the ropes! Tornado DDT! By Jackson! Jackson calling for it now, back to the outside. Heading to the top for a 3rd time. 3rd time's a charm for Jackson. Huge frog splash. Goes for the cover, and he's got it. Rullo gave a hell of a showing, but Brody Jackson is just riding too high lately. He is on a heater, and I think this could be the year of Brody Jackson. Folks, don't go anywhere. Plenty more action to come right here at the Pinery. Green Mountain Wrestling South End Slamdown continues on. Don't go far.